You're able to see, right?
Yes, Mats.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna, welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam discussion, Disconnect Pavel. We'll begin with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Shushusho Shraddadhanasya Vasudeva Kadharuchi Syan Mahatsevaya Vipra Punyatirthani Shevanat Shrinvatam Swakadha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto Bhadrani Vidunoti Suhrutsatam Nashta Prayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Tadharajastamo Bhava Kamalo Bhadayasche Cheta Etair Anavidham Sthitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridaya Grandhis Chidyante Sarva Samshaya Kshiyante Chasya Karmani Drishta Evatmanishvare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Kadanchana Smrite Sprindushkaram Sukharam Bhaveti Smrite Paritam Va Shri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Hare Krishna, welcome again for our Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. This is chapter 19 where Maharaj Parikshit is getting ready to leave. Very intense situation. And as Lingaraja Prabhu is asking for the title, I was saying it's the most fearful moment for all of us, particularly the time of death. And we can see the example of these devotees, how they're able to go through that moment with so much, in a sense, auspiciousness and looking forward for that moment. Sorry. So we will begin. This is text 21 of chapter 19, canto 1. Sarve vayam tavadivasmahetha kalevaram yavadasau vihaya lokam param virajaskam vishokam Yasyayam Bhagavata Pradhana Sarve Vayam Tavadivasmahetha Kalevaram Yavadasau Vihaya Lokam Param Virajaskam Vishokam Yasyayam Bhagavata Pradhana Sarve, all, Vayam, of us, Avad, as long as, Iha, at this place, Asmahe, shall stay, Atha, hereafter, Kalevaram, the body, Yavad, so long, Asau, the king, Vihaya, giving up, Lokam, the planet, Param, the supreme, Virajaskam, completely free from mundane contamination. Vishokam, completely free from all kinds of lamentation. Yasyati, returns. Ayam, this. Bhagavata, devotee. Pradhana, the foremost. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We shall all wait here until the foremost devotee of the Lord, Maharaja Parikshit, returns to the supreme planet, which is completely free from all mundane contamination and all kinds of lamentation. Purport. Beyond the limitation of the material creation, which is compared to the cloud in the sky, there is the Paravyoma, or the spiritual sky, full of planets called Vaikunthas. Such Vaikuntha planets are also differently known as the Purushottama Loka, Achyuta Loka, Trivikrama Loka, Rishikesha Loka, Keshava Loka, Aniruddha Loka, Madhava Loka, Pradyumna Loka, Sankarshana Loka, Sridhara Loka, Vasudeva Loka, Ayodhya Loka, Dwaraka Loka, and many other millions of spiritual lokas wherein the personality of Godhead predominates. All the living entities there are liberated souls with spiritual bodies as good as that of the Lord. There is no material contamination. Everything there is spiritual, and therefore there is nothing objectively lamentable. They're full of transcendental bliss and are without birth, death, old age, and disease. And amongst all the above-mentioned Vaikuntha Lokas, there is one supreme Loka called Goloka Vrindavan, which is the abode of the Lord Sri Krishna and his specific associates. Maharaja Parikshit was destined to achieve this particular Loka, and the great rishis assembled there could foresee this. All of them consulted among themselves about the great departure of the great king, and they wanted to see him up to the last moment because they would no more be able to see such a great devotee of the Lord. When a great devotee of the Lord passes away, there is nothing to be lamented because the devotee is destined to enter into the kingdom of God. But the sorry plight is that such great devotees leave our side, and therefore there is every reason to be sorry. As the Lord is rarely to be seen by our present eyes, so also are the great devotees. The great rishis therefore correctly decided to remain on the spot till the last moment. This can really churn some emotions. I was remembering our dear Mahati Gopi Mataji and how, the women in passing away, it was pretty heavy in one sense, but on the other hand, those of us who were present there during those last few days kirtans, it was such deeply absorbing kirtans. It's not really about just the mood or the devotees, but it's also their intense absorption in Krishna. When the devotee knows definitely that the the moment is imminent and it's coming closer, how they're able to absorb themselves, and whoever is present there, they can also actually experience that such deep absorption in the Lord completely. So that is what these great rishis wanted to be assembled and actually wait there We don't even know. I mean, at least this case, they know it's going to be 7 days. And sometimes, we think the devotees have few days, but we don't know how long and, things like that. But in spite of that, those who are present with them, there is this beautiful book, I mean, very, very amazing book by Giriraj Maharaj, The Final Exam, where Maharaj talks about a few devotees who left this planet and what was their, the kind of state, internal and external, and what were the experiences of the people who were present with them, who were actually serving them. Just by reading them, we can actually get a glimpse of what it is. Of course, people like me, we have a long way to go. But nevertheless, when we see that kind of examples, it's so amazing. I was like, wow, this is what is awaiting. Because typically that means, at least for me, it's a kind of an end. And so what do we have after that? We don't really know. So in a sense, because we don't have that, very clear or complete picture of what is thereafter, that is the reason we are actually so worried. Whereas we are seeing here, Srila Prabhupada so beautifully describing how the spiritual world is and what kind of status. There is no contamination, no lamentation, no birth, death, old age, and disease. I'm sure each of us, if we tell, if not for, going through that phase of death, if somebody asks, hey, do you want to go, we are taking a bus or train or flight to that place, would you like to join? Of course, all of us would raise our hands and happily go. Who doesn't want to go to such place, right? But the problem is we have to actually leave our current so-called identifications and designations. That is where, we have such a difficulty to leave that and actually go past this. But Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and great acharyas are helping us, giving this information, and not only as information or some knowledge. When we actually see in these great devotees examples of their lives, how they have passed away. We are seeing Parikshit Maharaj, and we have seen about Bhishma Dev, and there are many, many examples of great devotees. And we may say, you know what, it's Srimad Bhagavatam, and those devotees in Satya Loka or this Yuga, that Yuga, it may be possible. Hey, come on, be practical. Is it really possible in Kali Yuga? So that's why I was thinking of Mahati Gopi Mataji and many other devotees in, many devotee communities. We can actually see, even if the devotees are not so elevated, pure devotees, but just going through that process, as long as they're sincere, I think Krishna actually guides them. So that can be our hope. Even if we say, I'm such a fallen devotee, I don't really know if I'll have the opportunity at the end of this life. But it's only because of Guru and Krishna's mercy that they will make us qualified. In a sense, they will give us that qualification, to actually achieve this at the end of our life. What is that we have to do? Last evening, Vrindavan Prabhu was saying, Krishna tells Arjuna, I love you. I love you so dearly. But we can say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not qualified. Like Krishna is so great. I'm like so low person here, and I have all these, all kinds of, contamination in my heart. How can I go and receive that love even? Forget about reciprocating. But we can actually see how Krishna and Guru are so merciful, so, like unconditionally giving, so generous. So what other hope we have, right? In this material world, whatever we do, we don't have any other hope in a sense. So then, irrespective of whatever we feel, I'm just speaking for myself here, irrespective of whatever we feel in the heart, if we can just open and receive that love in whatever way we can reciprocate, I think we all have this opportunity. What we are envisioning here, of great devotee Maharaj Parikshit. And so that is one thing we can take from here, how even though it's so difficult, we are actually getting the information of what that place would be going beyond, and how we can actually practice during that during our life. We were reading in Bhagavad Gita, reading this 8th chapter, texts 5 and 6, where Krishna says, whatever we remember at the end, that's what we will attain. And those who remember me, they will attain me for sure, without a doubt. Krishna is promising. But how are we going to remember him at the end? Only by the practice, how we are living our lives throughout. And that's what we can see in Maharaj Parikshit's life here, how he has lived throughout, hearing about Pandavas and their activities along with Krishna, those pastimes, he was so relishing like throughout his life. And the icing on the cake and the beauty is that at the end, he was able to hear very systematically from Srila Shukadeva Goswami. So that is how he was able to, as we are saying, when we know the information, when we know where we are going, and it's an amazing place, we can actually be totally ready. I mean, it's so amazing to think of that we can actually say, okay, I'm ready now to die. But we can see that in Maharaj Parikshit's example, he is like, at the end of the 7 days, he's like, okay, I'm fully ready, completely absorbed. Let the snake bird or whatever come now and let me die now. So that is really so amazing. So that is something we can actually cultivate, that by regular hearing and regular absorption, at least in whatever level we can, whatever activity we can, chanting or hearing or services, whatever activity, kirtan, we are feeling connected, if we can invest there and cultivate that, that can actually, even at the times we don't want to be in devotional service, that can actually pull along with the association of wonderful devotees. And the second thing I want to share from this purport is this, all the great sages assembling there. So for two purposes. They know the passing away of such a great devotee is very, very auspicious. So they want to be present in that auspiciousness moment and witness that event, how they are fully absorbed and they're going. So, because they say, when we present in that moment of a devotee, great devotees passing away, it can actually touch our hearts in a way, those impressions will stay for us, stay with us for good. So that is what these great sages are saying. They're saying we will wait here until the last moment, until he passes away. And the second thing is, when all these wonderful, great devotees present, Krishna says, wherever all these devotees present and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, he will actually come there and he's present there. So that is another reason they want to create auspiciousness. So it's like both giving and taking. So they want to be present in that moment of great devotees passing away, and they want to receive, be part of that auspiciousness, and at the same time be present there and give that auspiciousness to the devotees. So in both ways, it's actually getting that, the wonderful, auspicious atmosphere in that moment. And Prabhupada writes, this is like a contradicting thing, but we can actually experience, those of us who have witnessed very close devotees passing away, at the same time, we know they have definitely gone. I was thinking recently, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, or His Grace Pankajangri Prabhu, all the devotees all over the world, we are praying for him to stay. But at the same time, when they have gone, we know for sure they have gone to serve the Lord directly, in person. So very, very happy for them, as well as, for us to have their association, have of such great devotees, and have that opportunity to see and witness Krishna's promise that my devotee will never, perishes, and they will go back in whatever circumstance. So that is definitely nice for us, very, very faith building and hope giving. But on the other hand, The sorry plight is that such great devotees leave our side, and therefore there is every reason to be sorry. So, as devotees, it's both ways. The heart is so soft, and we are mourning and grieving the loss of such devotees. But on the other hand, because of our philosophy, because of Krishna's assurance, Krishna's reciprocation, we know for sure that where they have gone. So there is every reason to be joyful. So it's kind of a, contradicting emotions in the heart, and that's how the devotee's passing away is. But there is learning for us, and we need to it's not that we will be looking forward, but thinking when we have that kind of opportunity, really be present to receive as well as to give whatever we have. Just open our heart and pray for them, and do whatever we can actually do. So from this verse, just in conclusion, Prabhupada is giving us the information of the spiritual world. So when we know where we are going, there won't be so much of a hindrance or obstacle or, sorry. There won't be so much of a, what do you call, like pull or, sorry, I'm not getting the word. We don't have such a strong objection to actually go there. We will be looking forward if we know where we are going. So that is the first thing, because Maharaj Parikshit knows he is actually ready. And these great sages assemble there both to receive the auspiciousness and be in the presence of such a great devotee who is totally absorbed in the Lord in their final moments. At the same time, by their presence, invoke the presence of Lord Krishna. And actually, Srimad Bhagavatam is going to appear in next few verses, and does do their part to give the auspiciousness to Maharaj Parikshit. So I'll stop there and kindly share if you have any thoughts or reflections. No questions, just the reflections.
Thank you so much for your nice class, Mataji. It looks like 8 o'clock, but as if like only 5 minutes, like it's going very quickly. I wanted to hear more, but the time is 8 o'clock. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing all your realizations and
Thank you, Mataji. Any reflections or inspirations? So we can also be inspired with your sharings.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. I just wanted to say I find it a very difficult topic to discuss, death, because like you said, there are so many uncertainties. We don't know what's on the other side. But reading Prabhupada's books over and over again, as you're saying, we're getting assurance, hearing Krishna's words and his promises in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Even though all that assurance is there, I find that this deep faith, unless we put a full faith in those teachings, there will always be fear. Because I'm speaking for myself. Recently we had 2 deaths in the family, really close members, and I've really been contemplating about this death and where I stand in terms of, my fear or my attachments, and as you were saying, designations and all that we have, identities. So yeah, it's really actually a nice topic, and thank you for highlighting a lot of nice points. That specifically I liked that when somebody's passing, not only we want to give, but also receive, because there's so much is there, not only to, just because we all always think that when somebody is in that position, we want to give, what can we do? But at the same time, they're teaching us so much from their passing that we should also want to receive, be open. The door should be open both ways. So very nice points. I really liked a lot of the highlighting points that you brought out, and it's definitely been a churning topic for me. So thank you very much. Hare
Thank you, Mathaji. I just found this the other day in a book called The Servant of Love about Mother Kirtidas passing away. I thought it's apt for what you're sharing. The story of Kirtidas' death also opens an inspiring vista that the end of one's life can be an opportunity for spiritual elevation and enlightenment rather than a dreaded, fear-inspiring finality. By entering into or even gazing through this entry point, it may be possible to better understand a phenomenon that attends the passing of spiritually gifted individuals. I felt that's so beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Anything else, devotees?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj Srila
Mine
Prabhupada.
too, Mataji.
It is actually Srila Prabhupada's writings and purports that gives us that view of the other side of the mountain so clearly. I mean, he is so much a Vaikuntha person, we can say, from his statements in various purports, and we have a method to adopt at the time of somebody's passing. Actually, in the devotee community, so we know it is a time to how to do that one. In fact, so it's a time for remembrance, and thanks. You started with remembering Mahati Mataji's passing, and that kirtan, that was so intense. We all felt transported by that kirtan. So we can imagine with all these great sages present there, Krishna's presence is there very much, and I feel very thankful for all the like you mentioned, Giriraj Maharaj's book. There is we have so much video and of Srila Prabhupada's passing.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Yeah,
As you're speaking.
Yeah. And Bhakti Tirtha Swami is passing, and his talks and all that is on video, and there it is, so these are all very glorious moments actually. So I mean, you feel it strengthens your strengthens your mind to approach, I mean, to that final exam. Yes. I mean, there is something there. I mean, it's not about losing, it's about gaining. You feel, confident, whatever is the future, it's about gaining. You feel the mercy of the devotees, the unconditional love of Guru and Krishna, all that. I thank you very much. You made a very good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's 8:00. Unless someone
Thank you,
has
Mataji. I don't have any sharing. I mean, I would like to just reiterate those 2 points Prabhupada mentioned at the end of the purport. As the Lord is rarely to be seen by our present eyes, so also are the great devotees. The great rishis therefore correctly decided to remain on this spot till the last moment. Right? I mean, it's not easy to get the darshan of the pure devotees also. I mean, right? But by Prabhupada's mercy, I mean, we are able to get most of the days.
I know sometimes I feel we just take things for granted and just imagine, I mean, we don't even want to imagine actually. Then probably our mood of surrender and our practices intensify like anything. Thinking of both, ourselves or our dear devotees, whoever we are, we are reverential and worshipping in our lives, if we imagine. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The other point, Mataji, that is also celebration that we understand from, for a pure devotees or devotees, it is like very, difficult for a common person. But of course,
they will have hard time. But yeah, it's amazing how, anything that we actually face when we see through the scriptures and through the devotional service, how amazing it is. Yeah, that's something, I started appreciating so much. It doesn't matter how much I'm able to practice, at least I'm here, I'm in devotional service. Let me just, exist here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. All right, it's 8:02. Thank you all so much for joining and sharing your realizations and appreciations. Kindly forgive me if I spoke anything out of my own speculation or whichever. Thank you all.
We hope to have your association every month, Mataji.
Krishna. Kindly pray and give your blessings, Prabhu. Yeah, then I would be able to. Thank you.
Whatever your blessings is needed, you have to be there. That's all.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. You all have a very wonderful Krishna conscious day. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalptarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo.